So at this stage, I'm comfortable with the base. So let me zoom out a little bit. We've still got our base plates. What I wanted to do was make this section here. So starting in the front, moving my way back, I wanted to make it into a single kind of not piece, because it's going to be 600 pieces or more. But I wanted to make this its own section so that I could slide it onto a table and move it out of the way. So I could then slide this section. Basically, I want to make these into separate sections. This is a section, this is a section, and maybe this is a section, with the middle section being the largest. That way I could slide the middle section over and have better access to put the castle, the carousel, Main Street together without having to reach like this, which would be impossible to do. Now, I'm sure there is a much smarter way to do this. At the moment, I haven't thought of it. And as I've said before, I'm not a Lego person. So there is probably a technique that this is called. But at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm taking these parts are not secured, but I'm adding all these blocks underneath, and I have a layer of, or not a layer, but a line of these 1 by whatever blocks. So I also probably am not using the proper terminology because I'm not, as I said, a Lego person, but I've got these blocks. So a 2 by 4 block, a 2 by 3 block, a 1 by whatever that is. And I'm using those to put between the base plates and the first layer of plate. This will add strength and keep this section all one piece, and then give me the gap for the lights. I don't think I need the lights over here, but because of the way this works in terms of, I was always going to have an issue with, from here over, it's fine, because these are all standard sizes. When I get here, I've moved my 3D printed plates to the middle, or the end of this section, the inside of this section. So because they're not the standard size, I'm adding this middle section here, and then my standard 16 by 16 plates will fit there. And I've got a little bit of an overhang here. The idea is once this is all built up, my track, if I can find my example track, is still going to reach out to the end, and then you're probably thinking, ooh, is that safe? And the answer is no. But what I'm going to do is build up on the ends of the track, basically making an elevated track. So the train itself in Disneyland has some areas where it's elevated, and I don't have the monorail, so it's kind of like an homage to the monorail, I guess. That's what I'm going to call it anyway. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if I can 3D print This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Do I have a 12 by something print? That way, this then comes out to the end. And that takes up the space that I would need. Then I don't have to do this janky homage to the monorail. Then I actually have solid ground to build on. So let's find out if I can do that. Okay, I've taken a big step forward since earlier today. Now it may look like a big mess, but what I have so far is, let me move this track, zoom out a little bit. I'm starting to put in the block layer, and then on top of that, the plate layer. Now, I'm still printing the two pieces that is going to go between here. The first set that I was printing failed, and that's because I put the wrong settings. So that's my mistake, not the machine's. So while I'm waiting for that to print, it should be done any minute. I was working on this area here, which is kind of Main Street / part of Adventureland, part of maybe a little bit of Tomorrowland, because I don't think that Tomorrowland is just going to fit in this area. I think I'm going to have more space available for Tomorrowland and be able to spread it out a little bit. That's my hope anyway. And I've got this section, so I've got these bricks that have holes on the side, and I have little pins that connect into those holes, and so I'm adding those to each side. So this is an area, like this entire section here is bricked up and connected. I've got this perimeter gray, kind of changing the color as I go, just because I don't want it to be super uniform. I do want some character there, and so it's going across the front as well. So this is Main Street, or this area is the train station area. This is Main Street. So the problem is I don't know how much Main Street will be taken up by the Main Street Lego version. So for right now, I'm just putting blocks in. Now, and I've added the first, or the ground layer for here, and I've added the train. So this is all bricked in, which is great. I didn't have the train bricked in before, so this is a huge step forward for me. The problem is I have completely wiped out Dollar General of the 16 by 16 stud plates. Walmart does not have them. And when I go online, I can only buy 1 or 2 at a time and pay for shipping. So they get pretty pricey pretty quickly. And going on to like Temu or AliExpress, they've only got certain ones available, and I can't just buy 200 of them all at once. I mean, they're not available. I can't seem to find a place where I can buy it. I can buy in 1 or 2 and pay for shipping, and I don't want to do that. So right now I'm kind of stuck. I can print them, but I have other things that I want to print. I've got a bag clip I need to print. I need to, there's something else I need to print. I forget what it was. Anyway, things not related to Disneyland I need to print. So what I'm thinking, and after discussing with ChatGPT, I kind of think for Main Street, here are the 2 Main Street panels that I have. I'm going to try to block them in. Now, I like this one because it really makes you think of the hub. This is Main Street, or this is A Street. So the thing I like about this one is there are these studs in the center, so I can put characters walking down Main Street. But they're flat on the bottom. They're not like plates that you can connect to. So I'm going to have to put a layer of blocks underneath this, prop it up, and then lock it into place somehow. So I'll have to work on figuring that out. But ChatGPT says that it's going to take me forever and very expensive to buy the 16 by 16 plates. So it's suggesting using these base plates and supporting them with the bricks. I don't know how that's going to go, so we will try it out. I'm sure if you're a Lego person, you're probably screaming your head off. There's a much better way to do this, etc. Again, I'm not an expert at this. I don't make Lego displays. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out as I go. But from what I've done so far, these light green are my printed pieces. These dark greens are the mock Legos, the fake Legos from Dollar Tree. I don't know that I even have Lego versions in here yet. These blue plates are actual Lego. But in terms of this layer here, the track is actual Lego. But other than that, I'm kind of pleased the way everything's coming together. The mock Lego, the printed Lego, the real Lego, it's all fitting, which is great. And now there's just a few challenges that I need to deal with. But the biggest challenge is going to be sourcing the materials. Finding the ones that I need is my problem. I could, if they were available online, I would just go buy 200 of them. But I haven't found a place to do that yet. So I will continue the search. And in the meantime, we will continue piecing this together. My thought of this just sliding off onto a table where I can focus my effort on a section at a time is working, at least for Main Street, because that section over there is going to be way too big to slide on my little table. I'm hoping that I'll have enough of that cleared off that I can move that to the bigger table. I don't know if that'll even fit that one. I don't think so. So we could have a disaster on our hands if I try to move that around. But the big key is just getting to the point where I've got that bricked up ground floor or ground level made so that I can put the castle there. That's my biggest concern, because the castle is it easily breaks. I've moved it before and broken it. So that's the one that concerns me the most. But if I have the foundation in place, if I can move that forward, have a spot where I have more room to work, that would alleviate a lot of my concern, and I think it would be pretty easy to put in place. So we shall see. But until then, I'm going to continue working on this Main Street.